Myself, Dr. Somit De, teacher in charge and assistant professor of mathematics section under Department of Basic Science and Humanities, Asansol Engineering College. This is my second lecture under module number 2, topic mean value theorem. MVT means mean value theorem. Module name calculus under differentiation. Differentiation part of calculus. Paper name mathematics 1A, paper code BSM 101. This subject belongs to BTech first semester, branch computer science and IT. So in my first lecture under module number 1, I had discussed Rolle's theorem and its application, geometrical interpretation, as well as Lagrange's mean value theorem. Lagrange mean value theorem, geometrical interpretation of Lagrange mean value theorem, along with numerical example. So this is the extension of Lagrange mean value theorem, and our Cauchy mean value theorem also I'll discuss in this lecture. I repeat once again, just for recapitulation, Lagrange's mean value theorem: fx be a function defined on the closed interval a comma b, satisfying the following condition: fx is continuous in a closed interval ab, fx is derivable in open interval ab. Then there exists at least one value c where a less than c less than b, such that fb minus fa by b minus a is equals to f dash c. So already you know, if I include another condition in this Lagrange mean value theorem, fa is equals to fp. If we put, your result become f dash c becomes 0. So from here it is clear, Rolle's theorem is a particular case of Lagrange's mean value theorem. So already you know h theta form of Lagrange mean value theorem, that is mean value theorem. If I replace b by a plus theta is, then any point between a and b can be written as a plus theta is. Define values for theta in between 0 and 1. You can define all value of between a and b, that is a comma a plus h. Okay, so now if fx be a function defined on the closed interval a comma a plus a, satisfying the following condition: number 1, fx is continuous in a plus h, and if fx is derivable in a open interval a comma a plus a, then there exists theta where a 0 less than theta less than 1, such that f of a plus h is equals to fa plus h f dash a plus theta h. So this is very important extension of Lagrange mean value theorem. And another extension part, note, if I put a is equals to 0, then what we get, and h equals to x, we get the mean value theorem is of the form fx equals to f0 plus h f dash theta h, where theta lies between 0 and 1. Okay, this form, that is this one and this one, so very important, and using this particular form we can get some question, either directly application you can see in fb minus fa by b minus a is equals to f dash c type problem. Already I had discussed in my first lecture, and here I will discuss some problem application of this particular h theta. I will discuss some application of this type of form of Lagrange mean value theorem. Let's see. Examine validity of Lagrange mean value theorem for the function fx equals to this 4 minus 6 minus x whole to the power 2 by 3 in 5 comma close into 5 comma 6. So from here it is clear, whatever the value you want to substitute here, you can't find any undefined case. So from here it is clear that fx is continuous in open closed interval 5 comma 7. Now you differentiate this f dash x. What is f dash x? F dash x is equals to 2 by 3 1 by 6 minus x to the power 2 by 3 minus 1, that is 1 by 3. Okay, so from here it is clear that if I put f dash x equals to this, but if I put x equals to 6, because 6 lies in between this, your f dash x is undefined. It's correct. So but f dash x is not defined. So from here it is clear that f dash x, fx is not differentiable within open interval 5 comma 6 at x equals to 6. So that means your second condition is not satisfied. So hence Lagrange's mean value theorem is not applicable for the given function. Now try to understand, very easy. In the mean value theorem, fh is equals to f0 plus h f dash theta h 0 less than theta, so that the limiting value of theta as h tends to 0 is 1 by 2 when fx equals to cos x. This cos x may be sin x, may be log x, whatever. So this portion is you can, if similar type question you can see in your question paper, what type of changes you can see, the cos x may be replaced by sin x, maybe log, or maybe other function. Try to understand. Here fx equals to cos x. What is f dash x? F dash equals to minus sin x. What is your f0? F0 is equals to 1. From the given relation, fh equals to f0 plus h f dash theta x theta h. So we have to substitute the value all fx in this line. So first you have to write fh, that is x would be replaced by h, and so cos f0, that you put x equals to 0. Okay, now what we have, that is cos h is equals to 1 plus h. What is sin theta, f dash x, f dash sin theta? What is your requirement? F dash theta is substitute here. So from here, after substituting the values, cos h equals to 1 plus h within bracket minus of theta h. After simplification, what we have, h sin of theta h 1 minus cos h is equals to 1 minus cos 2a formula, that is 2 sin square h by 2. Okay. So sin h by 2 is equals to 2 sin square h by 2 by 2. So from here you may write sin theta into theta, that is you are adding theta, that is theta of theta h is equals to sin square h by 2, that is h by 2 whole square adjusted with 2. So why you are doing this? Because to adjust it. Okay, now taking what is your limit h tends to 0. Now you take both sides, limit h tends to 0, limit h tends to 0, theta limit h tends to 0, sin theta h by theta h is equals to 1 by 2, limit h tends to 0, sin square h by 2. This 2 is adjusted here. So already you know sin limit x tends to 0, sin x by x equals to 1, already 1 you know. Similarly, for this case, limit if I sin square h by 2 and x by h by 2 whole square, ultimately, basically you have sin h by 2 by h by 2 whole square. So from here you may write sin theta limit h tends to 0, theta into 1 is equals to half into 1. So therefore, limit h tends to 0, theta is equals to 1 by 2. So this is also a very good example from application of Lagrange's mean value theorem. Now, this is very important question for you now to understand. So that x by 1 plus x less or equals to log of 1 plus x less than x for all x greater than 0. So this is very important question from examination point of view. Let fx be defined in the closed interval. This statement is fixed. Let fx be defined in the closed interval 0 comma x, then applying Lagrange mean value theorem of fx in on 0 comma x we get. So if you go through this one, I want to apply this. So what is your a? 0. What is your b? That is a plus b is equals to a plus h. So ultimately b is equals to x. So your function is defined 0 comma x and your relation is this. Okay, I want to apply this. So Lagrange mean value to fx on 0 comma x close interval we get fx equals to f0 plus x f dash theta x, where 0 less than theta less than 1. Let fx equals to log of 1 plus x. What is your f dash x? 1 x by 1 by it should be f dash x equals to 1 by 1 plus x. Now you substitute this all value to this relation fx equals to, if I put log of 1 plus x plus 0, because if I put x equals to 0, that is log 1 equals to 0 plus x f dash theta x, f dash theta x is equals to 1 by 1 plus theta x. After simplification, what you have, that is log of 1 plus x is equals to x by 1 plus theta x, where theta lies between 0 and 1. This is number 1. Because this type of inequality you can generate from here, this inequality. Since 0 less than x, 0 less than theta less than 1. Now you check what is our requirement. Our requirement is this inequality. Okay, now try to understand. So this middle part we can replace by this. So if we can construct this x by 1 plus theta x, so we can write log of 1 plus x. We want to establish this one. Let's see. Since 0 less than theta less than 1 positive, so multiply with the x both side, 0 less than theta x less than 1. Okay, similarly now we add plus 1. Why? 0 plus 1 less than 1 plus theta x plus 1 plus x. Do you understand why I'm doing this? Because what is our purpose? Our objective to build up this. Our main objective to build up this area. We want to build up. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this. That is 1 of 0 plus 0 less than theta less than 1. So then you multiply with x, that is 0 less than theta x less than 1. Then we are adding 1, that is 1 plus theta x plus 1. That is we are adding 1 in both, in 3 parts, this, the middle and right side. 0 plus 1 plus theta x plus 1 plus x. Ultimately what you have, 1 less than x less than 1 plus theta x less than 1 plus x. Now what is your requirement? 1 by this, so that's why reverse it, that is 1 by, so 1 plus x less than 1 by 1 plus theta x less than 1. Just you check. So already you know from the basic logic of inequality, if a greater than b, then you may write 1 by a less than 1 by b. Here we are using the same concept. Okay, that is inequality. This portion is here, 1 by 1 plus x less than 1 by theta x plus less than 1. Now what is left? That is x is left. Now you multiply on both sides by x, that is x by 1 plus x less than x by 1 plus theta x less than x, because x is positive. Now try to understand, this portion is here. Now this portion replaced by this. Now we can replace by using 1, that is x by 1 plus x less than log of 1 plus x less than 1. Hence the proof. Okay, so here your main part, the statement, then you have to find the what is the statement you are getting, then you have to use this inequality, because you have only one inequality, 0 less than theta less than 1. Next, this is also very important question. Using mean value theorem, 0 less than 1 by x log of e to the power x minus 1 by x less than 1. Okay, let fx equals to e to the power x. I think you have a question in your mind, why you are using e to the power x, why not log? Because you check your log function on e to the power, so that's why I'm taking fx equals to e to the power x, f dash x equals to e to the power x. Now using Lagrange mean value theorem, we have fx equals to f dash f0 plus x f dash theta x, where 0 less than theta less than 1. Okay, so if I substitute here, that is x e to the power x plus is equals to 1 plus x e to the power theta x. Clear? Okay, so now our requirement of this inequality, so already you know we can establish this inequality only from here. So now 0 less than theta less than 1, that is, now you multiply x with both sides, that is 0 less than theta x less than x. Now exponential part, e to the power 0 less than e to the power theta x less than e to the power x. So 1 less than e to the power theta x less than e to the power x. Now multiply both sides, e to the power x. Why? Because of this. Try to understand what is try to understand the logic. x less than x e to the power theta x less than x e to the power x. So from it is clear that x1 e to the power x less than e to the power x e to the power x minus 1 less than x e to the power x. Why? Because already you know e to the x e to the power theta x is equals to e to the power x minus 1. So I'm writing this. So from here it is clear, if I divide by x, what you have, there is 1 less than e to the power x minus 1 by x e to the power x. Just to check, already I have it. Taking log on both sides, that is log 1 less than log of e to the power x minus x by this less than e to the log of e to the power x. So ultimately already you know log of 1 equals to 0. So 0 less than log of e to the power x minus 1 by x. Log e to the power x means x. So hence 0, now you divide by x. So 0, 1 by x log of e to the power x minus 1 by x less than 1. Hence the result. This is also very important question for you. Now try to understand another example, last two consecutive example based on fx. Fx defined in 0 comma x, that is a one form of Lagrange mean value theorem. Now try to understand another form of Lagrange mean value theorem. Find the value of theta in the mean value theorem. Fx plus h is equals to fx plus h f dash theta x, where fx equals to e to the power x. Very easy. Here fx equals to fx, that is f dash x equals to e to the power x. Same. By using mean value theorem, we have f of x plus h is equals to f of x plus h f dash theta x, theta h 0 less than theta less than 1. So this is very, don't forget to mention this inequality, because this full formula is based on this inequality. Okay, now substitute the value e to the power x plus h is equals to e to the power x plus h e to the power x plus theta h. E to the power x, you can take common, that is e to the power h is equals just e to the power x. What is the meaning? So if suppose you have a doubt, you may write. Very simple. So from here what we have, e to the power x into e to the power h is equals to e to the power x plus h e to the power x into e to the power. So from here e to the power x e to the power x e to the power x is common, so you can take outside or you can cancel it. Okay, so ultimately what we have, e to the power h is equals to 1 e to the power h in e to the power theta h. So e to the power theta h is equals to e to the power h minus 1 by h, taking log on both sides, that is log of. So already you know, so you can check. I skip line. Now try to understand. Suppose from here log of e to the power theta h is equals to log of e to the power h minus 1 by h. So what we have ultimately, so you have that is theta h log e means 1, so log of e to the power h minus 1 by h. So ultimately what we get, theta h is equals to log of e to the power h minus 1 by h. So here log e is equals to 1. Okay, clear? So this is the logic behind this. Theta h equals to log of e to the power h minus 1 by h. So theta is equals to 1 by h. 1 by h is log of e to the power h minus 1 by h. So this is also another very beautiful question. Same logic. Suppose you have a e to the power x. Now you have e to the only log x. Same, find the value of theta for the mean value theorem. F of x plus h is equals to fx plus h f dash x plus theta h, where function is equals to log x. Same logic here, fx equals to log x, f dash x equals to 1 by x. Now by mean value theorem we have f of x plus h is equals to f of x plus x h f dash x plus theta h, and 0 less than theta less than 1. Don't forget to mention this inequality. Now if we substitute the value, log of x plus h is equals to log of x plus h by x plus theta h. After simplification, what we have? X plus x by h by x plus theta h, log of x plus h by log minus log of x, log a minus log b is equals to log a by b, log x plus h by x. So from here you may write log of 1 plus h by x. Okay, and now I just interchange the position by reciprocal form. X plus theta h by h is equals to 1 by log of 1 plus h by x. So x by h plus theta is equals to 1 by log of 1 plus h by x. So what is theta? Theta is equals to 1 by log of 1 plus h by x minus, just to transfer this on the right side, h by x. So this is the value of theta. So this is also another example of Lagrange's mean value theorem. Now Cauchy's mean value theorem. If fx and gx be two functions defined in the closed interval ab such that fx and gx both are continuous in a less or equals to x less or equals to b, fx and gx are both derivable in a open interval ab, that is a less than x less than b, g dash x not equal to 0 for any value of x in a less than x less than b, then there exists at least one value of c where a less than c less than b such that fb minus fa by gb minus ga is equals to f dash c by g dash c. Okay, so this is the general form of Cauchy's mean value theorem. Another form, if I substitute b is equals to a plus h and c is equals to a plus theta h, and where theta lies between 0 and 0 less than theta less than 1, Cauchy mean value theorem takes the following form: f of a plus h minus fa by g a plus h minus ga is equals to f dash a plus theta h by g dash a plus theta h, where 0 less than theta less than 1. Okay, deduction of Lagrange mean value theorem, Cauchy's mean value theorem. This is also very important part. Consider fx is a Lagrange mean value theorem for giving fx equals to x. So clearly fx and gx are both continuous function in a less or equals to x less or equals to b. Gx and fx and gx are both derivable in open interval a and b. G dash x not equals to 1 because if I differentiate g dash x is equals to 1 is not equals to 0 for all value of x in a less than x less than b. Recall the hypothesis of Lagrange mean value theorem: fx is continuous on closed ab and a derivable in open interval ab. Then there exists at least a value c where a less than c less than b such that fb minus fa by gb minus ga is equals to f dash c by g dash c. What is gb? gb is equal to, if I put b, a is equals to a, so from it is clear fb minus fa by gb minus a is equals to f dash c, which is the Lagrange mean value theorem. So already you know, so from here it is clear Rolle's theorem is a special case of Lagrange mean value theorem. So from here it is clear that Lagrange mean value theorem is also a special case, a special part of Cauchy's mean value theorem. Okay, so now this is also very important question for you. So that b minus a by square root under a minus 1 minus a square less than sin inverse b minus sin inverse a less than p minus a by square root under 1 minus b square 0 less than a less than b less than 1, and hence so that pi minus 6 plus root under 3 by 15 less than sin inverse by 3 by 5 less than pi by 6 plus 1 by 6 1 by 8. This is also very important question for you. So function is defined in phi x, let phi x equals to sin inverse x. We see both a phi x is both continuous and differentiable in open closed interval ab. Okay, using Lagrange mean value theorem on phi x is equal to sin inverse x in closed interval ab, we have phi b minus phi a by b minus a is equals to phi dash c. So phi b is equals to sine inverse b minus sine inverse a by b minus a is equals to phi dash sine inverse x is equals to derivative is 1 by root under 1 minus x square. So using this formula, that is 1 by root under 1 minus c square. So condition is that 0 less than a less than c less than b less than 1. Okay. So this is equation number 2. Function equation number 1. So now, but just to check, middle part is here, middle part is here. So we have to establish this form. So you have, since you inequality, you have 0 less than a less than c less than b. So from here you may write a square less than c square less than b square. So 1 minus a square. So automatically your inequality will change. 1 minus a square greater than 1 minus c square greater than 1 minus b square. So already you know, if you have a doubt, we can write like this. So already you know that a greater than, if I write a square less than c square less than b square, so minus a square should be reverse, minus c square greater than minus b square. We want to apply this. I skip one line, so you may write 1 minus a square greater than 1 minus c square greater than 1 minus b square. So I apply this concept. I skip 2 lines. Okay, so this is the logic behind this. Okay, so 1 minus a square greater than 1 minus c square greater than 1 minus b square. Okay, now what is our requirement? One requirement is this. Now in your square root under 1 minus x square greater than root under 1 minus c square greater than square root under 1 minus b square. So here I think you have a question in your mind that square root means double. So in this case we are considering only plus. Now just divide by inequality. 1 by square root under 1 minus a square less than 1 minus 1 by square root under 1 minus c square less than 1 by square root under 1 minus b square. Okay, so from here it is clear. If you check, so 1 by this inequality is equal to this. So you may write, so now you have this, so you may write from using 2, that is 1 by square root under 1 minus a square less than sine inverse b minus sine inverse a by b minus a less than 1 by square root under 1 minus b square. So if I transform on the left side and right side, b minus a, what do you have? B minus a square root under 1 minus a square less than sine inverse b minus sine inverse a less than b minus a by square root under 1 minus b square. So where 0 less than a less than b less than 1 is the proof of this inequality. Now we have a second part. Now you have a second part. What is your second part? Second part, from this relation you have to establish this. So from here it is, then you have a question in your mind how to decide what is your a, what is your b. Just to check what is the common from both sides. Pi by 6 common in both sides. Okay, so from here it is clear that pi by, if I enter pi by 6 here, so we can transform on both sides. Okay, clear or not? Okay, so that's why now tell me for what value of sine inverse x become pi by 6? Pi by 6 means 30 degree. If I the sine inverse half is equals to pi by 6, so that's why I am considering a is equals to, if you have a doubt you may write, suppose try to understand, very easy, this is very important also. From here sine inverse, you have a just to check, you have a sine inverse b, sine inverse x, you have to identify the b and a. So from here it is clear what is the value of b. B is clear 5 by 3, it is clear. Why? Because of this previous example. So from here 5 by 3. Now from here it is clear, it should be b is equals to 5 by 3. But what is a? So if I transform, if I check from the last line, so if I write here, that is pi by 6 root 3 by 15 less than sine inverse 3 by 5 less than pi by 6 less than 1 by 8. Now we check 3 b. From here it is clear b is equals to 3. From here it is clear that is 3 by 5. What is b? So minus pi by 6. Pi by 6 means sine inverse half. So a is equals to 1 by 2. So this is the logic behind this. Okay. So that's why I'm taking a is equals to half and b is equals to 3. This is the main part. So from we have, if we substitute here, that is 5 by 3 minus 1 by 2, square root under 1 minus 1 by 4 less than sine inverse 3 by 5 minus sine inverse 1 by 2 less than 3 by 5 minus 1 by 2 square root under 1 minus 9 by 25. Formula wise, if I simplify, what we have, that is sine by 3 by 5. What is sine inverse? Sine inverse 2 means pi by 6. Pi by 6 on the left side as well as on the right side. Now after simplification, what we have, that is root 3 by 15 less than sine inverse. You can check. I write directly. Sine inverse 3 by 5 less than 1 by 10 into 5 by 4. That is plus pi by 6, because pi by 6 on the left side and right side both side. So ultimately what we get, pi by 6 plus root 3 by 15 less than sine inverse 3 by 5 less than pi by 6 plus 1 by 8. This is also very, very important question for you. Now similarly, another question I have. So what is the basic difference? The difference is that the only sign replaced by 10. Okay. Same question is also very, very important question for you. B, so that b minus a by 1 plus b square less than sine tan inverse b minus tan inverse a less than b minus a by 1 plus a square, where 0 less than a less than b, and hence so that pi by 4 plus 3 by 25 less than tan inverse 4 by 3 less than pi by 4 plus 1 by 6. Let a function phi defining a comma b close interval defined in the function where fx phi x equals to tan inverse x. We see that phi x is both continuous and differentiable and close interval in a comma b. So using Lagrange mean value theorem, phi x equals to tan inverse x in close interval a b, we have phi b minus phi a by b minus a is equals to phi dash c. So I have changed here. I have taken a different form, that is phi fx. You may consider here I have taken phi x. So both different types of formation you can see in your question paper. Okay, so phi b minus phi a by b minus a is equals to phi dash c, where a less than c less than b. So here you may write tan inverse b minus tan inverse a by b minus a is equals to 1 by 1 plus c square. What is c? C lies between a less than c less than b. Okay, so since a less than c, so you may write 1 plus a square less than 1 plus c square. So giving 1 by 1 plus c square greater than 1 by 1 plus c square. Logically, here I am using reciprocal formation. Similarly, 1 c less than b, so 1 plus c square less than 1 plus b square. So you can write directly also, no problem. I have used a different form. So 1 by 1 plus c square greater than 1 by 1 plus b square. If I combine both, that is 1 by 1 plus b square less than 1 by 1 plus c square less than 1 by 1 plus b square. So what is 1? From 1 you have, from 2 you have 1 plus 1 by 1 plus c square is equals to tan inverse b minus tan inverse a by b minus a. Substitute here. So using 2 we have this. So ultimately you b minus a transform on the left hand side and right side. B minus a by a1 minus 1 plus b square less than tan inverse b minus tan inverse a less than b minus a by 1 plus a square for 0 less than a less than b. That is proof. Now try to understand the second part. What is your second part? So first part is proved. What is the second part? Second part you have to, just like sign last question, previous question. So here just to check, pi by 4 is common from both sides. So if I include pi by 4 in the middle, now tell me what is the value of sine tan inverse x? We will get a pi by 4. So if we put x equals to pi by if I put x equals to 1, then we will get pi by 4, because tan 1 is equals to tan pi by 4 is equals to 1. Okay, so here taking a is equals to 1 and b is equals to 4 by 3 from in equation number. Okay, so you can decide this a and b from the given information. Okay, very easy. Now substitute here b is equals to 4 by 3 and a is equals to 1. After simplification, what you have, just I skip one line. You may check 4 by 3 minus 4 by 3 minus 1 by 1 plus 4 by there is 16 minus 9. Tan inverse 4 by 3 minus tan inverse 1 less than. So 4 by 3 minus 1 by 1 plus 1 square. So after simplification, what you have, 3 by 25 less than tan inverse 4 by 3 minus tan inverse 1 less than 1 by 6. Tan inverse 1 is equal to pi by 4. You transfer on the left side and right side. 3 by 25 plus pi by 4 less than tan inverse 4 by 3 less than 10 by less than 1 by 6 plus pi by 4. So hence proof. And thank you. Another question. This is also a very important question for you. Applying Cauchy mean value theorem, we have fx equals to e to the power x and gx equals to the power minus x in closed interval a comma b. Then prove that c is an arithmetic mean of a and b. Cauchy mean value theorem, we have fb minus fa by gb minus ga is equals to f dash c by g dash c, where a less than c less than b. What is fx? Fx equals to e to the power x. What is gx? Gx equal to e to the power minus x. If I substitute here e to the power b minus e to the power a by e to the power minus b minus e to the power minus a is equals to e to the power c by e to the minus e to the power minus c. So from here it is clear, e to the power b minus e to the power a reciprocal. If I simplify this, e to the power a minus e to the power b by e to the power ab is equals to minus e to the power 2c. So these two are cancelled with minus sign. Minus e to the power a into e to the power b is equals to minus e to the power 2c. If I cancel minus minus, what you have, e to the power a plus b is equals to e to the power 2c. So ultimately you have a plus b is equals to 2c, where c is equals to a plus b by 2. So hence c is the arithmetic mean of a and b. So this is also another example from Cauchy mean value theorem. Okay, thank you. You try to solve some question based on this concept from your exercise book for your better understanding. Thank you.